A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is Monday, January the 5th, 2026. And yeah, looking forward to another discussion on the latest that there is in Indian football and there isn't in Indian football. And we will see. Tomorrow come back to my channel because I did an interview today with Pritam Kotal about the current state of things. 25 minutes of talking. It's in Bengali because I think for both of us it was better that we did it in Bengali. So do come back, listen to it, use the opportunities via YouTube. You can do instant translate in any language that you want, and do watch my take. Will the ISL happen or not? Or is it good or bad for the ISL to happen or not? Posted earlier today. It's the top video here. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. And thank you as always for your support. And let's keep on growing the community, guys. Good evening, Zonavar. Do you agree with Hiren's post on X today that Indian footballers is the quality of amateur league football league players, but the attitude of Premier League ones? Zonavar, yes and no. Because to me, there is a certain level of truth in what Hiren has written. And I agree on that to some extent. But I would not generalize this statement because if I look at certain certain players, then I know that that these players are not the way that we're talking about, and it's something that I say it's not so easy. Therefore, for me, let me just take out. Indian top footballers have quality of European six-tier player and have attitude of Premier League player. See, do they even have six-tier quality? I mean, I would even go to that extent because if I look at my players here in Germany of FC Remscheid or SSV Bergisborn, both the teams play in the sixth tier. I think there are few Indian footballers who can compete with that level. So even that level is a question. So therefore, for me, that is one. Yes, there are certain ones who forget having Champions League. They have sort of Premier League, Champions League attitude. So that is there, right? So, but who's made that, right? Is it to some again? That's the question. That's why I say those of you can understand Bengali, do watch my interview tomorrow with Pritam Kotal, which I think is very honest about a lot of things that Pritam looks from a player's perspective, who's speaking from his heart. And to me, that is something which is very, very important, never to forget where we stand, where we are, what we are. And yeah, that's very, very difficult. So therefore, for me, it's, yeah, we have a standard problem, and the standard problem is rather than getting less. So therefore, that's an issue in itself at the moment that we face. Absolutely agree with Hiren's statement, says Shoham. Okay, yes, dinner done. Shoham, I live in Germany. So it's afternoon, it's 5:20 p.m. So dinner is still a little while away. So therefore, dinner will be done, but not now. So therefore, for me, my dinner, if you're asking me, no, dinner is not done. It is not close to 10 o'clock or yeah, it is not close to 10 o'clock like in India. So therefore, my dinner will happen a little later in the day. I want to ask a hypothetical scenario where we get 11 OCI then how far we can go with them. So again, as you say, it's a hypothetical question. Um, I think the question is who can we get, who would want to play for us, in what position can we get them, and what can we fill every position. So that's going to be, uh, 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 and to me, yeah, I think if you give them time, give them the right coach, maybe within a year or two, they could go to a higher level. But how far can they go? I don't know. Could they go to, again, could they get us to an Asian Cup? I would think so. Can they get us to the World Cup? I don't know. It is, again, there are a lot of factors involved in that. And, that is something, that is something which is very, very clear to me. And therefore, it's not a yes or no answer or, hypothetically, oh, we can go this and that. We have to, again, in a lot of areas, in a lot of fields, I realize people live in the theoretical world. We need to get into the real world. We need to keep talking about the real things that are happening. Otherwise, it makes no sense. Gurpreet saying no point in explaining to people who never kick ball how difficult it is for Indian players to go outside and play. Um, you know what, RRC game, I 100% agree with him. This is what I've said. I've said this. There are a lot of people don't understand, and I've had a few conversations over the day today with players about things, and and some of them have told them, listen, it is no point for me even trying to go abroad. No one wants us. One player actually told me today, said, listen, sir, even if I want to, I'm not even going to ask you. That's embarrassing because I know that for you, it's very, very difficult to try and put us somewhere, even if you would try. And there's a realization, you know, and so it makes no sense whatsoever. And the Gurpreet point is there. For an Indian player to go abroad, you don't only, you know, and the pain that Gurpreet has gone through to get to that level, the pain through which Sunil had to go, Abaichung had to go to those levels. This will not be understood, sorry, by most of the Indian football fans, even the ones who follow European football don't know what it means, right? So I fully agree with Gurpreet in this, where a lot of football fans will not like it. And I always say is that you might not like it when people tell you the truth. Listen, if you, again, listen to my interview with Pritam Kotal tomorrow, and then let's have, um, that is gonna be very interesting to think. Good evening, Siddharth. Let's talk something positive. Please give your reaction for the Minerva FC winning the Gote Cup back to back. Krishna, it has no value. Is it positive? Yeah, it's positive. For them, it's good, nice. But for Indian football, it has no value at all. Because winning these kind of competitions has no value. If you are not gonna produce players who can be Asian level, forget world level. Um, then let's wait and see what will happen. Finally, some Garib League gonna happen in February for sure. As per reports, we're taking it for more years back. Clubs are really confused at the moment. See that the problem is very, very tricky, right? Okay, what has the FF said? I did a tweet just a little while back on this, and let me get you my own tweet. 1 second, where am I? This is me. Right. Okay. What did I write? So the point is, the FA Finance Committee has cleared 7 crores for the ISL from the federation's coffers. The AFF wants to announce plans for the 25-26 ISL tomorrow. Will the clubs agree? Who pays for the rest of the costs? Questions remain. Very simple, right? So to me, the point is the AFF is in a desperate level. I think certain people, even political pressure is now on them to say, hey, do something. Just do something. And there are certain entities, again, Jamshedpur FC very clearly has stated, listen, we need to play. I realized I was speaking to some of the players that the player situation is not, so therefore for me, the whole point of this league happening for the sake of happening. I mean, to call it even a Garib league most probably is overestimating this thing. It's a disaster waiting to happen. It is gonna be of no standard, right? And I had a conversation over the weekend with a foreign player, who's played in India. A, for, a foreign player who clearly saying to me, how could this go down this way that badly? And then you try and tell people and explain and said, guys, this is a situation which has been around for a while. This has not cropped up yesterday. And people are not realizing that we are in such a difficult state at the moment, right? And but understanding the situation is, I think, very, very important for us, right? So therefore, a leak for the sake of a leak, which is at the moment, makes no sense. From where will AFF get 7 crore that is passed in today's meeting? I doubt from asset clubs only will they. I doubt from asset clubs only they will get this money. No, Rudro, they are saying that from the money that is left. So the AFF Is it gambling? I don't know what we want to call it. The AIFF somehow is hoping that they can, again, speculation from my side. These people are trying to run down the AIFF as much as they can, right? And where do they leave the AIFF behind? Right. So therefore, for me, the whole question of the federation is, you know, where do we go from here? Where finally, where do we go from here? Where we are? Because the 7 crores you're putting or you're claiming to put in is like a seed invest into something you want to create. But because, and nobody knows. Again, someone told me today, are we doing a 1 venue? Are we doing 2 venue? Are we doing home and away? Maybe that's even up now because that has been suggested. Uh, you know. So it is. I am very clear. Then rather than a bad ISL, it is better not to hold an ISL, right? So, or even any other league for that matter. Look at the IWL at the moment. Do you think Mumbai City will continue to operate? I think they will shut shop like Odisha FC and maybe Chennai City. Now, are you talking Chennai City or are you talking Chennai FC? Odisha FC, again, different case. Chennai FC, different case. I think and believe, knowing the people behind the club, that something of the sort will exist. If there is an opportunity for a future league in some sort of form way, I think Mumbai City will exist and stick around. So, might be wrong, but that's my thinking about it. Not trying to undermine Ranji Bajaj, sir. I mean, we all know how they won Gothic Cup. Let's see how many players actually make it in Indian football team. Or Soham, forget Indian football team. Making Indian football team is not something big at the moment. Can you create something which is better than we have? That's not being made. Do you think ISL clubs would agree with the 7 crore they will put in? I know Kolkata clubs will play irrespective of whatever happens. I don't even know if the Kolkata clubs will play. Again, that is an interesting thing that the things are moving in regard to who's controlling things, who's not controlling things, right? So I don't know. I don't know if the clubs will play. Whoever will play, as I said, Jamshedpur to me feels, Kolkata clubs potentially, Punjab FC potentially, Northeast potentially, and then we'll have to see. Tomorrow's there's an emergency. I mean, it looks like they will take another week all-time pass going on. Augusta, I think if today is a step again, that I don't know if the letter from the AIFF has gone to the clubs or not, but at least the finance committee has cleared certain budgets. So now let's wait and see what the AIFF does, right? So, that's a wait and watch approach at the moment. But let's see. League was happening from last so many years. What did we achieve? Lose to Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Hong Kong, Singapore, inflated salaries. Rudro, that is, in my opinion, a too one-sided view, right? Weren't we drawing with Afghanistan and Bangladesh before that, right? Singapore, Hong Kong, whatever. I've said since the late 90s, forget late 90s, in 1995, when JCT won everything in India before the start of the NFL, the salaries for their standards at the time in lakhs was over inflated, right? At that time in 1995, we're talking about 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago now, actually, right? And on 2005, when Zeke came on, salaries started to rise. For example, Mahindra United came into the market in a big way, bullish way. Suddenly the salaries grew from 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20 lakhs, right? We had the I League, which started 2007. The salaries higher. It is Prayag United, Nawab's club, which paid the first crore salaries to Shubroto and Mangi in 2012. Right? So if you want to go on this whole inflated, the salaries in Indian football have been inflated for donkey's years, right? What has the league achieved? I think the main things that the league have achieved is that in 11 years, we were not talking about the running of the league, which we've always talked about in Indian football. We were for 11 years, we were not talking about running of the league in regard to the ISL, which shows you when a private body entity, a commercial entity is running your league, you know? And to me, on the other side, because of the ISL, under Sunandadhar, the running of the I League became much, much better. Even the I League clubs became much more professional because of the ISL. The stadium infrastructure got better. Practice facilities were built. All these things are things which are good. The problem, yes, grassroots and youth, coaching, those are problems. But that is not the problem only of the Indian Super League. It's the problem of the whole ecosystem of Indian football. You know, the league is happening just for keeping the existence of Indian football. Otherwise, I still don't care about the things I feel. I don't even think that it's about the existence of Indian football. This is a league. Again, there are people saying it has to happen. And therefore, it's you're trying to put logic into something where there is no logic, sadly, right? And that's the point, that we need to figure out what is right and what is wrong for Indian football, and not do things for the sake of doing it. We are at this stage doing things for the sake of doing it, right? That is my concern at the moment. These guys should raise another tender and start the league freshly from August 2026, or no, they should start Federation Cup maybe. Show them who's going to bid for the tender. People say tender, yeah. um who's going to bid? The question is not of the tender. They could do a tender document tomorrow, day after, whatever. Who will bid for the tender? Yeah. So, so these shows will be relegated because they will not play without a commercial partner. Rudra, no clarity. There is no clarity, Rudra, what will happen. And if a majority of clubs say no, then we'll see what happens. Right? So, no idea. I think FC Goa will shut because anyway, I think Goans do not support them. So it'll a good reason for them to shut. I really hope there is a good ISL next season because there will be disaster. Okay, how do you know that they're not supported in Goa? Again, this is the funny one, right? You're saying they're not well supported. I can tell you that if you look at FC Goa, they're better supported than Dempo Sports Clubs, Salgaoka, the Churchill Brothers, and Sporting Club de Goa, and whatever else you want to name. Will they shut? I don't know. I honestly don't know what the clubs will do. It is anybody telling you, oh, this will happen, that will happen. Again, this we're all in speculation at the moment. Even people saying, just as Rudra said, Odisha FC will not play, then they shut down in this night. They're not shut, they're still alive, right? All of them are still alive. Sir, you are a Bayern fan. What's your reaction on Carl's comment that his dream to join our future is if the opportunity arises? So this is a 17-year-old boy talking about his dreams, right? So I know a lot of Bayern fans have gone gaga. They've lost their mind and the boy has been abused, this, that, everything. And what I say is like, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not like you don't want your biggest talent to speak that way. Um, so the point is, um, it's not a smart comment to make, but he was asked at the fan club visits, which Bayern Munich does in the new year, he was asked an honest question, and the boy gave an honest answer, right? So yeah, league is not a criteria to judge national team performance, since before ISL ranking was not great. Even with NFL I League, things are not up to the mark. National football works differently. Yeah, so true. Why is this current committee making a 20-year plan when most of them will be gone by end of year after the elections? Isn't it that whoever new guys come in to make a long-term plan? RRC game, this is all distraction and deflection. right? To show that we are doing something, we are right, and this is happening, that is happening. Um, yeah. So therefore, for me, right, this. It's crazy, but it's the way it is. So therefore, um, to me, makes no sense, and the plan itself doesn't make sense, because if your funding is not in place, again, this is which you've seen. We've now started to create plans in theory, but in reality, to implement them is close to impossible. Right? That's the problem that we find in selves. Yeah. Right. 21 plus minutes. As always, like, share, and subscribe this live watch along. And 8 likes so far. We can do better. We stand at 3,660 people who have subscribed to the channel. Thanks a lot. Again, if you haven't, if you're listening, if you're liking, do leave a subscription behind. Let's keep on growing the community. And as I said, watch the short video. Today I did something. Will the ISL happen or not? Please do support. And thanks as always. Where are we? Did our footballing quality on pitch improve because of ISL? No, because we've been on a drop for a certain period of time. Because if you don't do the right things at grassroots and youth level, then we don't need to talk about the top level. But the ISL did provide a platform that the players, some of the players, and I'm happy about it, that if we look at Pylon Arrows at the time, or Indian Arrows, Pylon Arrows, and then later on Indian Arrows and all that stuff, those programs actually helped us. Otherwise, those players would have disappeared. And those players have gotten a chance. We're talking about the Puyas, the Prabsukans, the Anwar Alis, and all those guys, right? ISL gave us better investors in Indian football. ISL bring better youth investors, especially grassroots level teams by clubs. Yes, there is so much room to work, but we need ISL. Yeah, right. I heard you were working at Mumbai City before. Did you win titles with them, Dada? Why did you leave? Poco, I left. I am one of the founding members of Mumbai City in 2014. I was the CEO in the first season of the ISL. No, we didn't win anything. And I left after the first season for reasons I wasn't happy. That certain ways that clubs run in India, and I have a certain way of doing, so that's not the case. So therefore, then I left. So many people were saying if FSL leave, many clubs will shut down. Nothing happened yet. Rudro, the situation is that the clubs are desperate to try and stay alive, right? Normally, the conversations we're having today, right, in a normal scenario, you know, um, if I look at today, then the clubs are still saying that FSL can be brought back, right? So for them, FS still have not, in their mind, FS still hasn't left, right? Even though for me, they left in the summer in the sense, and their contract ended, they're gone. The owners, the people putting in the money, have lost a lot of money over the last 10, 11 years, or if you've been invested in a shorter period for whatever time, but they're still willing to put in the money. So that, in my opinion, is a positive. And the reality is that a lot of people in this ecosystem did not um, recognize, did not value the inputs of FSDL Reliance, right? Because they did a lot of things and people didn't recognize what the value was. And therefore, we are where we are. Churchill, they have a bigger fan base. If any of these clubs come to top of the league, FC Goa will be dead to last season was Kashi 10th at us in that final match of the NFL era. Poco, no, they don't. Again, it's one off. How many people does Churchill Brothers normally play in front of at the Tilak Maidan or wherever they're playing? They don't play in front of 10,000. It's a one off, right? One off. Right. So then I'll say, oh, you know what? Look how many people turned up for the Al Nassr game, or rather, how many FC Goa tickets sold for the Al Nassr game. Um, And they never got 35,000 because the capacity of the stadium is not 35,000 or never was 35,000, right? So again, get your numbers right. I have gone to I League matches. I remember the opening of the I League in 2015, Salgaoka Football Club versus Bangalore FC, 9 paying spectators. I've gone to a Dempo match. Don't ask me which year. After they were championship winning, I think 21 paying spectators. So the numbers don't add up, right? And you're saying, you know, Dempo 2 in their prime had big crowds. No, they didn't. This is exactly the rubbish that has been spread by people which are factually not true. FC Goa has achieved something which none of these clubs have achieved over 50 plus years of their existence. A one-off match, championship winning match, full house is different, right? So therefore, don't come with that. The 200, 300, 500 people coming for a normal game is not something. Even on a bad day, they get a few thousand. So therefore, don't tell me that the others are bigger than them. They're nowhere bigger than them. One thing for sure, because of ISL, we got better foreigners in info, which also helped our local boys a lot. Siddharth, yes, we got quality. We were not banking on some big-bodied Africans and some Brazilians who wouldn't get a chance anywhere else in the world, right? That's a brutal reality. Why did the AIFF not organize an international series tournament, and when will OCI players allowed to play for the Indian football team? We need to win tournaments. OCI players allowing is not going to happen anytime soon, it looks. And why? What international series tournament? AIFF can't be organizing just blindly an international series tournament. You know, right? TD left Mumbai City FC, whereas Hamid left East Bengal. Yeah, Raj, it's sad. I put out something about Instagram and you know and it's sad to see him because Thierry has been a player again at multiple clubs, right? Be it at ATK, be it Jamshedpur, be it at now Mumbai City. Yeah, I mean, there's a different thing, but again, there are a lot of these players who've been around for multiple years. Por Herrera, others, Noah Sadui, and all who've left. We need more international tournament series. No, we don't. Again, who Pichai, who, when, where, how, who's going to pay for it, right? Jesha is saying that India will win 100 medals in 2036 Olympics. So, and these kind of comments are hurting India more because outside of India, people are listening because he's not just he's the ICC chairman. The only reason clubs want FSL because they know what disaster can FFP can bring to table if you know. Of course, Siddharth. Listen, we know the organization and the difference between these two entities, and that is something which is there, right? Right. So therefore, that's the thing. Some hints are coming that KC had got some aid by government for broadcast of DD Sports. Haven't heard about it, but again, do we want? Again, my question would be: do we want Indian football on DD Sports? Right. So everything that can go wrong is going wrong with these kind of things. Thus, Kalyan Chowfi going to sue after refusing the participation fee demanded by ISL clubs? I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't think so. Right? FSL would have invested, but name and brand value of Mr. Ambani is more important than ISL. No, it's not. Who tells you that? Again, guys, you come up with theories where I think like where do you get this from? If the value of the Ambanis is your most important thing, they would have killed the ISL a few years back. COVID would have been a perfect time to say, sorry, we're going out. Right? Right. Hi, Kumar. Welcome back. Fatoda was 35,000 during NFL. And Poco, those are numbers being quoted by people who say, was it really 35,000 as a capacity? Ask people in the know. You check with Marcus. Even check with Marcus if Marcus knows. Because I've had this conversation about this venue and other venues as well, where there are quotations, right? Look at when in Kolkata, people tell you, oh, we've got 40, 50, 60,000 people. And I think like the Salt Lake Stadium now has an official capacity of 66,000, right? It could accommodate more, right? They say 35,000 Nehru Stadium in Kochi, and all these numbers again go into these numbers. You know, you know, you're talking about AFC matches, 6 to 12,000 AFC matches, right? Okay, good. AFC matches. What are normal league? I've gone to normal league matches where 20 people are paying for a ticket, and that is what counts. In Bengali, nearly 5 to 10K turn up at open ground, which is free. These people are talking about that maybe. Raj, I don't know. Again, this is very difficult. Now, why Gupit is not saying that Indian players' quality is bad, nobody's ready to take them and saying you people do not know football. Kumar, he's right. Again, what Gurpreet Singh Sandhu has said is right. Because if he wants to discuss footballers going abroad with you, you do not understand what he's gone through. You will never understand that. Sorry. Right? And then Indian football fans get even more angry. They said, oh, no, what Gurpreet is, and this is what I've been saying this, guys, it's not easy to go abroad, even if you want to try. Right? Because he's one of the ones who's gone there, who's faced it. Right? But increasing number of foreigners will reduce the inflated salaries of our players. So the question is, what kind of foreigners are you then going to bring in, and how much money you're going to spend on it? So therefore, those things are interlinked, right? So for me, we could increase it to 5, right? Most probably. But with all that has happened, if you see all the players who've left in the last few days, you're not going to get that quality. You're going to get, you know, players who don't get a club, or players again. And what are the clubs willing to offer? Because the foreigner salaries are also inflated, sometimes even higher than Indians. You know, can Ryan Williams quit Indian football and get Australian passport? Get back Australian passport? For Arunava, I think theoretically always he can get that passport back. Yeah, why not? But why would he quit Indian football now? Arnav, I would think that he would keep it until the end of his career, because he's not going to play for it. You know. Let's see how the same fans fussing about the lack of us actually watches the ISL if it happens after 6 months. Simon, good point. Very good point. All again, a lot of people have tweeted a lot of stuff in the last few days, but do they stand up? You know, you know. So this is something which is very, very, you know. DD broadcasted Messi tour, which was good. I think they can do better. Raj, again, if that's the level we want to go to, congratulations. Good evening, Simon. You know what? The DD is not a bad option, especially when private players have zero interest in football now just because of AFF ignorance. Siddharth, it's not about AFF ignorance. It's about even cricket is facing a problem, right? Like, a lot of money is going out of cricket, and you know, my point is very simple in the sense of, um, if we go once that route, right? Um, we have built a certain level over the last 11 years in the ISL. And by doing it as the way they were trying to do it at the moment, we're going to destroy everything. There will be, if you think that a tender process in the summer and 20 years and this, even if it's shorter, whatever it is, the product is going to be not only damaged, it's going to be destroyed. You know, so that's the point. So we can't afford Sony Star broadcaster. Is it true? We should be lucky DD Sports have to broadcast the league. Utsav, go with it then. Again, surprised to see Harry tweeted stuff about Gurpreet indirectly. Again, um, even if Hiren wants to, again, who I have a lot of respect for, But if you don't get what Gurpreet is tweeting about, um, I say watch my interview tomorrow with Preetham Gotal. He speaks a lot about these things, and he's speaking from his heart. Um, Knowing those guys, some of them since they were very very young. Um, yeah. So that DD Sports provide free HD channel for every TV, but that's not a solution. The kind of quality of production will be worse than Super Cup we have seen I League and other earlier, and no revenue. Yeah, so what? Very good. That's the summary of it, right? Forget revenue. Why are we talking even? Why are we even in connection with this league at the moment talking about revenue? We don't have revenue. It's easy for African players who have worse background than these Indian players to go abroad. These Indian players have excuses, don't accept they have no quality. No, it's not an excuse, Rudra. You see it as an excuse. But the thing is that Gurpreet knows what of struggle he had to go through to get a chance in Norway via people, goodwill of people. I know what it took me to convince the Fortuna Düsseldorf in 2013 to give an opportunity to Nirmal Chetri and Godwin Franco, and other players were asked and it didn't happen. I know what it took to convince Viking Stavanger to give an opportunity to Lalinzwala Changte for a trial. I know from people in Southeast Asia who's saying, Indian players, thank you very much. I don't want it. The quality is not, it's not the quality. For people to ask players, again, the conversation is what is Gurpreet's point? Yeah, fans are saying left, right, and center, right? Yeah, that Indian players should go abroad. There is no route. If you can't read between the lines what he's saying, there is no route. You are dependent on the goodwill of people to make opportunities for you. Right? That's the point. But who's going to take it up? 50 rupees for ISL match is still expensive, but XYZ amount for something is cheap mentality. Yeah, Raj, people don't want to spend money on. But I heard it also that this is something which happens in cricket as well. There are a lot of people try to get free tickets for IPL matches. I was not aware of it. I heard it from someone who used to work for a ticketing company who said, listen, this is not something. Are we asking Jesus to go to Europe or UK where there is strict work visa requirements? Sorry to say, but still whining. He should explore Southeast Asia, African, Latin countries. Utsav, African, what Africa? Do you understand what you're saying? Latin countries, no one will take our players. Even a Gurpreet Singh Sandhu. Southeast, I just explained, Southeast, no one wants our players. I was talking to someone in Vietnam the other day. No, right? You think that they can go over there? No, they can't. Because there is no market for them. I mean, I don't defend the players, but Gurpreet's right in many ways. Yeah, but again, I'm trying to explain it here on this channel to the fans, to you. And it's not about defending, you know, but our players should try and go abroad. I mean, a player today said to me, listen, I would love to go abroad. I'm sitting at home. I would love to go abroad. He's even contacted foreign agents. Nobody's picking that player up. And we're talking about someone who's a national team player, a current national team player. It is not there. And I said, listen, I am not doing anything because it makes no sense. Reality is Indian players have no quality and no one will watch them. Perfect examples, empty stadium in Goa and India versus Singapore match. Rudro, yeah, but you know what the problem is? And this is on the fans. How good, how bad your players are. Your national team needs to be supported. Right? It comes from the person who's watched more matches than anybody else in this whole world of Indian team around the world. I'm also one of the only ones. Maybe I think I'm the only one who's watched India play in Guyana and South America. I've watched them in the Caribbean, meaning I've watched them in North America. I've watched them in England, in Europe. I've watched them in the Middle East and back home in India. Right? So therefore, your commitment to the national team, you know, so that is the problem. You do not support a team because it's successful, but Indians only support success. That's the problem. Let's come to that point, right? They rather pay thousands of rupees to try and watch Messi where you will not be able to watch Messi. But as said, 50 rupees for a match, go, no. This is the mentality. Nobody wants to pay 19 rupees or 25 rupees for a streaming. We have a problem in the fan base. But is the fan base ready to accept that? No. Blame everybody. Yeah, right. From Star Sports to DD Sports level of Indian football. So, yeah, that's what we want. That is where the AIFF is taking us. I mean, people like you who have worked behind the scenes know the struggles getting a player to. But yeah, of course, Simon. None of you will understand that. Sorry, I'll be brutal about it today. Right? You could have followed everything that you can, but these things, you know, that's the point. Gaming is a new thing recently added on OTT platforms, so we can say sports going to affect badly in as per my research because OTT losing cricket viewership as well in India. Siddharth, cricket will lose a lot of money because Star Sports is cutting down on costs because again, I was reading today an international article saying that this year most probably is the transition where linear television, you know, so that is something which is there. These Indian players should be thankful because their gameplay didn't deserve to broadcast on TV. Rudra, that is rubbish. Again, this is again what it deserves or doesn't deserve, right? Then does it deserve that? Looking at again, you guys, some of you follow Premier League. I've been following now because the Bundesliga is off the Premier League. It's awful. But you love that, right? That's great football. Oh, Liverpool Football Club. Oh, lovely. Manchester United. Oh, lovely. Oh, Chelsea. Listen, even that is bad, right? So, but hey, you think it's great football? Atmosphere wise, I would never watch it because I would say even a third, fourth division match in Germany is better than that, right? But right, viewership he nahi hai. Why would anyone face burn money? Yeah, that's the thing. 15 years we didn't any some sort of improvement quality. Raj, where will the quality improvement come from? I go back to I said in front of people in 2014, in front of Miss Ambani, we can push the marketing product. Good. But if we don't do grassroots and youth, it will not happen. And that has not happened over the last 20, 30 years. We were better without the grassroots we do, the youth football we do is so bad that without all of this, the Tata Football Academy producing players every 2 years, 25 players was better than what we have today. Illogical, in my opinion. But that was the reality that Ranjan Chaudhuri at the Tata Football Academy was producing better players than, let's say, the thousands of players supposedly coming through today. You know? Now, what about the African continent players? Do they have easy life in their countries? The path is easy for them to go to Europe. Kumar, yes. The life is tough, but there is a path. For Indian footballers, there is no path to go anywhere else. There's not even a path now to go to Bangladesh. Right? That is the problem. There is no path for an Indian player. Maybe now to go to maybe play Nepal Super League or whatever. Or maybe the Maldives, whatever the league is called over there, right? Or maybe Sri Lanka. Right? Oh no. Because why? Our players have no standing. Our players never had a standing. Baichung Bhutia was made possible because of Raj Purohit. Right? He got him to Bury. Sunil, Yogesh Joshi, and Nuno. Yogesh got him to the US. Nuno got him to Portugal. People helped Gurpreet to go to Norway. I have tried my bit. If I would add up how many people who are friends of mine have nicely declined, or some people have even laughed in my face when I said, give an Indian footballer a chance. If I would just gotten €1 for that, I would be a rich man. You guys do not realize how difficult that is. In Africa, I've seen people in rural belts of a Senegal, of a Ghana, of a Nigeria, setting up academies, trying to create a pathway for players. You know, you don't recognize that there is a willingness to risk that, to spend money on that. If you tell me, Arunavos, if you had the money, would you spend it on grassroots in India, build something to try and create talent for abroad? No, I wouldn't, because there is no pathway. And if I want to do it in a proper way, I would have to be an Ambani to try and do that. The African players are a different story. They have active academies running in Africa, which itself is a goldmine of talent from these big European clubs for the reasons we know very well. Simon, forget the European academies, clubs. There are individuals. I know someone who set up an academy in Ghana, a small academy in Ghana. The guy had good money, good life, whatever, blah, blah. Wife from Ghana, right? Started, I think, 5 years ago. He put his best two players from the first batch into a system here in Germany. The first kid is now going to Schalke, and most probably will turn pro in the next year or two. And then he's going to be 2021. I don't have an 18-year-old Indian where I could say, you know what, it is worth the effort of trying to help that player. We don't have that talent. With all that hype we've made under 17s, under 23s, our talent is not good enough, right? That is the question you should ask those who are running academies. Ask this to Ranjit. What is their talent? Ask BFC, ask Northeast United, ask FC Goa, ask the others who are, trying to produce. That's what I'm talking about, level of Indian. Yeah. You have to beg or fill them with money. That's the only way to go abroad. We do not have the ownership of Indian corporate world of going abroad and buying themselves into football clubs and then enabling path and roads, right? We've had the Venkis since 2011. Did something, I think, many years back with Pune, with FC Pune, came and played with some sort of team. And then I think Aniket Jadhav, I think, got a chance. But that's it. Yeah. So if Africa is a tried and tested hub, the scouts would invest here rather than India of all countries. Simon, there is data available, right? But they're not actively searching or looking at the Indian marketplace to find players, right? Gurpreet Subratopal, right? Subrato became, after the Asian Cup in 2011, a Red Bull ambassador. In 2012, RB Leipzig, fourth division at the time, and great training, right? Andreas Zorniger at the time, the coach, who went on to coach Leipzig, Stuttgart, Brøndby, and other clubs, said, but he won't make it with us, right? And we're talking about fourth division club at the time. Subrata was India's number one. So that's the reality. After 2 weeks, go back. Does that mean Indian players' quality is good, or now that they are not accepting that they are paid exotically and overpaid? Who says that, Kumar? Kumar, you are saying that. This is not true. Who's not accepting that they're getting a lot? Without even knowing the players you're making, right? You are making an allegation against the players without knowing them and making it without saying it. Do the players know? Yes, especially the older ones very well know that they're way overpaid. But it is the market, right? After supporting for national team for last few years, what do we get? No passion, loss against Bangladesh. Rudra, try and watch my interview with Pritam Kotal tomorrow. Again, use the translator, the YouTube translator. Listen to it. It's in Bengali, sadly. I think Pritam explains it quite well, and he speaks from his heart, right? So that answers it. You supported the national team for a few years. I've been supporting them for the last 30 plus years, right? A football team, a club, a national team does not mean what am I getting back? I know of fans of teams who suffer their whole life, right? That's the reality. This case is a perfect moment for some tough decisions and out of the box changes, like you said earlier. However, no bias is a clear sign of lost faith on the product. Yeah, I'm still with it. I think this is the best time where we should have a reset in Indian football, where things need to be restarted in a way where we can say, you know what, we're going to go in a different direction. I believe that. But who is that leader? Who is going to take on that mantle to tell the people in the AIFF this needs to be done or move aside? The ISL clubs are a rudderless ship. I've said this, you know, the problem is that we need to get out of this illusion of what we have. And the lost faith in the product has been there now for years. I would have said the last 2 3 years, so that needs to be done. And people are on some fronts working on these things. Jeremy Manzoro, Andre Alba, El Khayati, Madi Talal, Peter Hartley, etc., got less than crores for a season, but same year our Indian players back crores. Who says that? Where do you get Subhat? Where do you know that? Do you know the salaries of these guys? Ashish Negi told a few Indian players trying to move Saudi and some are to Europe. आप कुछ जानते हो क्या इस बारे में? Debojyoti, I've heard from players that they tried, but no one's giving them a chance. Right? So Europe, I don't know. Southeast Asia has been tried. No one is picking up, you know? So that's the reality. So, sir, you are saying a second, third division Philippines, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Singapore league team would not give them even starting 11 game time. If it's true, why waste time supporting Indian team? Utsav, why would they sign an Indian player? Get game time. Again, why would a second, third division, again, third division, I don't even know in these countries if it's professional. If it's not professional, you're not even allowed to sign foreigners, right? First thing. The problem is, I've said this now X number of times, right? The reality of things is that why would a club from Southeast Asia, from East Asia, why would they sign an Indian player? The Indian player would have to be better at least than the local player or the other foreigners who are in that market. Then it makes sense for the club to sign that player, right? But that's not the case, right? So therefore, and why listen, you don't support a team to be successful. This is what India needs to learn. Especially in failure, you have to support your team even more. Ask critical questions. Ask the right questions, because to me, the fans are asking the wrong questions or pushing for the wrong things because people have been directing the wrong agendas. I go back 2023, pushing for Asian Games. I said there are videos on this channel. Look it up. Asian Games is a waste of time. Play the under-20s. That's better. We're doing the same mistake this year again with the Asian Games. Fight for the right things, support for the right things. People go to you to watch Haaland playing through black ticketing. Raj, that's another conversation worth it. No, it's a good PR machine. Better support other athlete sports then. Utsav, where are we good? I was watching yesterday on Twitter, a lot of stuff came up on my Twitter in regard to the Hockey India League. They're playing in Chennai at completely empty stadiums. In hockey, India is bronze medalist of the last two Olympics, right? Last two Olympics. The stadiums of Hockey India League is empty, right? So it is not a football only situation. All other leagues are failing. The ISL is the biggest of them all outside of. Also, to understand, as bad as Indian football is, we are the second biggest sport in India, right? And that is the reality. But other sports are struggling as much or even more because there is no interest in those. The people have been selling that because people have been telling you, oh, you know what? People are watching this, people are watching this, people are watching. And we create leagues, which are not leagues, they're tournaments. India has again, the ISL is going back to a tournament format because we don't have time. That is part of our problem. DD Sports is good to reach the game to corners of India where OTT might still not have reached to increase fan base and grassroots. Nixon, do people watch DD? My question is, I have no idea what the reach of DD Sports is in the, let's say, tier 2, tier 3, and as you say, rural belt. But my understanding is that even in those areas, and you're talking about OTT, I think OTT has reached every corner of India because India has the most mobiles in the world and has, massive data. So the question is, DD Sports, will it actually reach the people? Then I would rather say, put it on the Indian football YouTube channel of the AIFF. Fans have a point in saying that these lot don't invest some time off their lavish spending into football in the sense that they can at least try, but the reality is a far cry. No, Simon. It is not so easy as I say, you know? So the problem is, do you know if they're trying or not trying? Right? Do you or do, So I disagree with GS's statement. I mean, playing somewhere is better than nothing. Yeah, Mukul, but where will you play? This has been the discussion over the last 20 minutes. Where will you play? Who's going to give you a chance? The most likely destination for Indian footballers was Bangladesh. That door is closed. So our players going to go on mass now to Nepal. I have heard players say next season, if things don't change, even if the ISL now happens in some sort of way, some players are thinking of playing local leagues. Things are that bad. If Indian fans love to watch only star players, I think the government should allow OCI players. This would help attract audiences, make people start loving football. Pinchai, yes, OCIs will have it. Will it change? I don't know. Right? The question is, uh, you know, um, yeah, we're not a Bangladesh. Look at, I salute Bangladesh for the impact that Hamza has had on that country and their football. Right? Massive, incredible impact from Hamza. So will it be the same in India? I don't think so, because we're not going to get a Lionel Messi like character or a Cristiano Ronaldo like character. Till he left ISL, all is going to Indonesia. Yes, whatever. Realities. Why would a lower division Asian Cup look to scout an Indian player, and for trials, why would any one of them will look Indians over an amateur player or domestic player? Subodh, answer your question. Amateur contracts, Indians will not be allowed to sign. That is another problem, right? And for an Indian to go abroad, listen, there's the other problem. A lot of our players come from relatively humble backgrounds. So if he's earning a certain X salary that covers your cost abroad, some of them have to send money back home to take care of their families, right? So that's the thing. Dada, here people think more of emotionally rather than realistic approach. Last week, with all due respect to Rain, posted a goal of Morocco by a Moroccan player and says that Indians should try to understand. It doesn't understand. Fans need to understand levels have gone below Bangladesh. The players and the qualities itself serve as a proof. The question isn't about intent. It's the question is about quality. Sorry. I mixed. Sorry. I mixed up. Sorry. I think people think more emotionally than realistic approach. Lastly, with all due respect to him, he posted a goal of Morocco, a Moroccan player, and he says that Indians should learn from them. People here don't know the level of academy system Morocco, that year away from the Mahmoud. The sixth Academy, one of the best in the world, right? Yeah, Renal, you're right. But that's the problem. That's the whole uh, issue of we are comparing ourselves to Morocco. We're comparing ourselves to Uzbekistan, Jordan, Cape Verde, Curacao, this, that, everything. India has its own set of problems. And if we don't sort out our own set of problems, we don't need to look at XYZ elsewhere, right? We need to focus on our own problems, and India will have to go its own path to success. If we think that we can do what other countries have done or are doing, it will not work for us. Sorry, because we are, as India, we have our own sets of problems. You know, try as an understatement, fans. We need to understand our levels have gone below a Bangladesh. The players and their qualities serve as a proof. The question isn't about intent. The question is about quality. Yeah, Simon, that's a very important thing. Uh, there is a question of quality, right? And I have said the problem is that from grassroots to youth and youth to senior level, the players are coming through are worse and worse, right? Crispin Chetri latest statement saying we'll do magic in Asian Cup and qualify the World Cup, referring to 93 Cricket World Cup. Raj, again, he's trying to galvanize something in a situation where we there is nothing to galvanize. No? The Crispin situation is very tough, very, very tough. I think Indian fans love to watch only star players. I think government should attend. We've already said that. We all accept and blame that ICE is not a good league. A bad league means bad gameplay, means most bad players. Then how can you even think us to go out? And do you think this is the way? Subhat, I think the ISL, to say it's not a good league would be wrong. I think the ISL brought a lot of stuff into Indian football, which in other parts of the world you would say is normal, is standard, right? And the reality of things is that if I look at what we were doing earlier before the ISL, and again, I was involved in starting the ISL, right? Um, that we created something which was not there earlier. ISL set benchmarks. The problem has been over the last 10, 11 years that most of the clubs, because they were losing money, their focus uh, of where we stand, right? That is a very complex point. And asking players to go out is easy, right? And then saying, oh, you don't have intent. So it's, again, if you ask me, would I try and help players? Of course, yes. Can I help players? Maybe. Will I be able to help players? Looks difficult. This player bashing has to stop massive. People think a 6-year-old Sunil Chhetri could become World Cup without a proper quality player education system for them to grow. Daniel, Sunil for me is a brilliant example of a player who came to the senior level, played City Club in Delhi, somehow or the other ended up at Mohun Bagan, was not ready for Mohun Bagan because he had Barreto, he had Baichong, and even a Lalampuya in front of him. Renedy took him with him to JCT and he clicked. And the rest, as they say, after 2007 is history. But he got a reality check 6 months in the US in the MLS. He wasn't good enough. At Sporting Lisbon B, the coach told him, you're a football player. And he was the captain of India. So Sunil had to face those things, right? You know, and this is the reality. It's about time our players think of seriously playing outside India, better footy environment, better leagues, which can improve their skills, but they won't as the entitled ones want to earn in pros. No, Gina and I watched today's episode. You know, this thing of entitlement, crores and whatever is not the issue. No one wants our players, right? Bangladesh now slowly turning into a footballing nation, the viewership increasing because of Hamza, because he's a Premier League player and that matters the most. Without Premier League tag, people wouldn't have given importance to him. Raj, yes and no. Because Hamza has this Leicester City Premier League tag team. Yeah, that's good. That's great to have, right? But Hamza came in and changed the mentality of the team and the dressing room and the whole nation in regard to football. Again, without Hamza, the team is a different team. So much home to add to it. And then all the others who are coming, right? Peter Kotal in your interview link. MD Gaming is coming online tomorrow. It's not online yet. I still have to edit it, but I recorded it today. I've spoken to a few players. Again, my time issue, and I will try and do that as well. Also, are that factor to bring limelight? Yeah, certainly. Do you think even expect us to compete in the CD League tier of Europe, that is the level of Macedonia, Albania, Kosovo even? No. Kosovo is a country which has its own troubles, right? Again, with Serbia and all that kind of stuff. North Macedonia, Albania, they won't take our players, right? A massive cut money scandal in ISL, only player transfers is real. Few sporting directors CEOs using league as a personal piggy bank. Can a train run with a broken, corrupted engine? Okay. I don't know where that comes from. The answer of all those thousand questions, play more and more games from early days. Yeah, Ajay, very right. Yeah. These guys need to play 40 matches at least a year to try and get out of that rot. Big problem. Big problem, right? So for me, that's a question which is very, very difficult. Right, 1 hour and 7 minutes. Quick reminder: if you haven't liked, share, and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. 20 likes so far. Thank you very much. I think we can do better. 27, 28 of us here in this room. And if you haven't, if you are new listening, you're liking our conversations, please subscribe to the channel. We stand at 3,663 today. And watch my short videos. Again, I did something today in the Arun Foot take on, sort of say my take on things, which I will do once in a while. Um, Even on things non-Indian football, I'll start again. We don't know if Indian football will start. So therefore, thanks a lot for that as well. Then I guess we should, as a citizen, also think to live abroad. Only better laws and regulation, jobs, environment. Let's leave the country and stop calling our government accountable for these things. So what? Very well said. Very, very right. I'm not saying the players are right or wrong here. I agree about the lack of accountability, perhaps worse, the lack of intent and passion sometimes, but the quality speaks over altogether. Yeah, Simon, that's the point that you and I and we, if we like it or not, need to accept. We have a quality issue. The Indian football national team, the Indian football setup, ISL, I League, we have a quality issue. While other countries, and football has changed dramatically over the last 10 years. This is another thing. Football has become much more physical, much faster, um, much more scientific than it was 15, 20 years ago around the world. And that is affecting it. It's good it is in Bengali. Hopefully, my Kolkata fellows will understand something. I'm trying hard to bring them out of their so called La La Land. Raj, again, it was easier. And again, I will those of you again who don't understand Bengali, there is the option in your YouTube nowadays. If you want to, you can switch languages, so you can get an AI system in the background to do instant translations. So do use that. What reset that no one is even thinking about that in AIFF needed to move aside. So what that is a problem, but again, I think that can be sorted, right, with the right people. But then the intent needs to be there. And now going back to the draft system, best to cut the losses and best for the system. Kumar, who's going to do the draft? How are you going to do the draft? The players in the draft, I remember in the original drafts were overpriced. So if you think that you can do it better in a draft, again, and a lot of players have long-term contracts. I can't cancel a contract. Again, if I'm a player and you've given me a contract till 2030, why should I cancel my contract? Right? The ISL has changed the view we looked at those Indian players for the wrong reasons. Maybe, Simon, that's a good thing. The foreigners amplifying the situation. Yeah, very true. Think the abroad situation both ways, one from a foreign club's point of view and one from the Indian player's point of view. Yeah, Simon, again, that's the, you know, it's as a foreign, again, if I was running a foreign club with all that I have, if I have issues with my owners and if I'm running a club anywhere in the world, I will not come up and say, listen, I need to sign an Indian player for the sake of signing an Indian player because I want to help Indian football. I will mention it, but I know a lot of them will not say no. Yes, if you have crores in your pocket, why would you sign Indian player instead of Brazilian, African, European? Forget the Brazilian or the African. Good evening. Just joined. What is the current status today? Did clubs confirm temporary league? No. The letter supposedly going out. Let's see. Tomorrow the AIFF will say something. Most likely. Lack of marketing, says Raj. Yeah. Will we get to know tomorrow about ISL? Aman, looks like the AIFF will announce something. I don't know if the other side will announce something. Uh, you know, you know. So let's wait and see where we head with all of this. That is, yeah, that is. So, as per performance concern, that Man United should have been closed. When will we understand fans in abroad support the local clubs, even they are at the bottom or relegation? Same for national team. So, what? Forget a Man United. Even a Wolverhampton with now 6 points on the table. A few days ago, they had 2 points on the table, right? Still, the Wolves are getting their fans to come and support them, right? So, Fiorentina, right? A traditional club, just moved away from the last position in Serie A, right? So, this is the reality. Indian player get chance if national team perform good in national stage because in other leagues they want performance, not just national team clubs as well in ACL too. MD Gaming, even if we perform well, who's going to take our players? Again, even if we do well in ACL too, why would they take our players? Right? ASEAN leagues are also developing leagues, so they require more foreign import to improve a domestic core. Whom would you prefer, a Bora Herrera or Changte? There, the answer is simple. Forget Bora Herrera. Bora, would you pick a Tiri or a Sandesh or whatever? Even one of the younger lot. Good evening, Ishan. Welcome back. So late in news about us. As I said, X9P. Um, the AIFF today, I tweeted about it a little while back. Let me quote my own tweet. The AIFF Finance Committee has cleared 7 crore for the ISL from the Federation's coffers. They have want to announce plans for ISL for 2025-26 ISL tomorrow. Will the clubs agree? Question mark. Who pays for the rest of the cost? Question mark. Questions remain. Hashtag Indian football. So that is what I tweeted a little while ago. Yeah, let's see. Arunava once said Twitter about the sports culture and mentality in school about sports. DG Sports is not watched by anyone nowadays. Yeah, come on. That's another thing. DG was there in Patna when I was a child, but now it's kind of dead. Don't know about rural areas. That's the point. Some of you are saying DD Sports better than nothing. Okay, but what is the reach of DD Sports? I've even heard that they've got an own OTT platform. For future, we need is someone who would do the work like Eric Thohir has done in Indonesia, comes from big business, political will, within touch AFC FIFA members, everything else would follow. Yeah, Sanif. Wouldn't mind that kind of character. Fair enough, I don't see our players playing in Asia either. Yeah, Ishan, why would someone take an Indian footballer? My simple question is this. Why would X, Y, Z give the chance to an Indian footballer? Simple question, right? Boycotting is the worst thing one can do. That clearly shows the kind of support you have had towards your own nation. Wake up. Simon, forget nation, clubs, whatever, right? We've seen clubs who've been very successful, even in the ISL or I League, get fans a little less success and suddenly the numbers start to dwindle. Even BFC, Mumbai City, Chennai FC, FC Goa, Blasters, all of them, right? It's a national psyche problem, in my opinion. In situation like this, the importance of our players having a plan B becomes important. Apu's decision of focusing on his education looks like a good decision in retrospect. Yeah. And some of the players have actually, under sports quotas, have got jobs, right? And the seasoned players are more sorted. The younger ones have a problem. Now, some elite ball knowledge people will come and say, then how players went to Slovenia. Yeah, that's nothing. I was listening to women rugby sevens players in Delhi. They told they don't even have proper diet and nutrition facilities, strength conditioning trainer for them, and money to live a comfortable life. G9I, is that even a pro sport? Right? That's the point. Where can Indians even play outside India and outside South Asia? Nowhere, Pranjal. Who will take? And that's my whole point. Do you think Indian players of other sports than cricket are even considered to be called in foreign, except few cases where we are ultra cheap, like women's football, etc.? Hockey, maybe. Hockey might be something, but otherwise, I wouldn't know. Good, let them play Kerala Bengal Super League if that is their level of football. Let's accept it. Bengal Super League is not going to happen because Bengal Super League is worse than the Calcutta Football League. So the Calcutta Football League is a problem. Look at how many players played in the Super League Kerala, right? We saw a lot of ISL level players. Even a Roy Krishna played suddenly there. Ishan Pandita was playing there. You know, I think Lenny Rodriguez was one of the best players in the league, right? So that's the thing. Now more and more media houses covering football after video. Yeah, that's good, Raj. Cape tournament. Here we go. Raj, you know what? Someone told me, you know, uh, that some players with ISL backgrounds, with certain clubs not paying salaries, that they are switching to Cape. You might have said this like in a more jolly manner, but the reality is, for some players, it's sadly an option. Right? It is an option. So these are some brutal realities we have. I have a conspiracy theory. Some people put Kalyan Chaubey so that he can demolish whatever is left because we were competing second in the country. At least we were walking, not running. Ajay, there is something to that which I think some people wouldn't disagree with you on that. Unless India's society doesn't develop in sports as well, we will always remain the laughing stock of the globe. I hope not, Zoravar, but yeah, sadly, that's the reality. Wake me up when September ends. Election one and only way, it seems. Yeah, Nixon, let's see if something happens till then. I may be harsh, but somehow Iran has also gaslighted his audience in a similar way Scooter did. I don't think, Subodh. I speak with Hiren once in a while. I think Hiren has understood a lot of things which I guess he would not have known a while back before he was doing what he was. So I don't think he's gaslighting it. It's just that Hiren speaks out of his heart. I also speak out of my heart, but I also am pragmatic enough, honest, realistic enough to say that I've got enough experience. Again, my difference with all of these guys, with all due respect, I have worked in this system in India and abroad, and still do. So therefore, for me, it's a choice. When FSTL was putting money, people were bashing them. People think it's easy to arrange grassroots. Only a big investor like Reliance can only invest in a country like India. We need FSTL. Well, but they're gone. Hey, Blue, I am good. Good to see you back. Hope things are fine. I know many guys who started clubs or academy but soon had to shut down. Yeah, Raj, because it is a cost, right? Gina and I says one ISL clubs who confess that there's some ISL clubs who take cut money from players' deals. Okay. Shift all ISL match to Northeast. Northeast love football more than cricket. Yeah, but who's going to pay for it? Where's the logistics, operations? It's not there. That's a nice idea. We love football. Yeah, great. I know that. I've helped in the growth of football in Mizoram. But operationally, this is not happening. So if ISL happens this year or next year, nothing will change. We'll still have the same issue where a pool of 20, 30 players will earn crores. National team will fail. World Cup, Asian Cup qualifiers, and will go on. Utsav, for the change, at the moment, we need something better, right? We need something working, and that's not there, right? The model that we have, um it's very difficult at the moment. Glory hunting is ingrained in the Indian psyche. Unless that is changed, which probably never will, India will never succeed in anything. So Rava, that's also a very, very thing. Like glory hunting is something, it used to be over a decade ago. I used to make fun of people who are Manchester United fans, and that was just 2014, 15 was just the start of what is now been a decade plus system. Will be it in sports, be it technology. Yeah. We only support successful if rarely see a Wolves or a Leeds fan in India. Yeah, very true. The biggest problem is how rigid everyone in the system is. Everyone wants to maintain the status quo. They just don't want to change anything. When they do that, also cause disaster. Dude, the problem is that a lot of people realize that if things change for the good, a lot of these people are not there, right? Um, that's also a reality. Hi, Indian football male national team प्लेयर्स को जर्मनी के लीग टॉप टियर टीम्स का ट्रेनिंग सेशंस वगैरह ले जाकर दी के चाहिए ये लो उसका 10% भी हार्ड वर्क नहीं करते practice sessions में. Who says that? Again, this is again who says they don't do it, right? The problem is quality. This is something, and again, training sessions at the moment not happening, right? So that's the reality. So that's the thing. These are realities of things. Can tapping into growing Indian market with the reason of signing in players? No. Tapping into the growing Indian market is something which has been said for the last 20 years and nothing has happened. Right? This tapping Indian growing market is the biggest myth in the world. प्रॉब्लम यही है कि ये इतने लेवल का प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं करते जितना हर रोज करना पड़ता है प्रोफेशनल प्लेयर को नेशनल टीम प्रैक्टिस सेशंस शुड बी फुल्ली ओपन फॉर फैंस एंड मीडिया व्हाई अगेन फुट sanely why do training sessions have to be open? Most teams in the world don't do it. National teams or clubs, right? This is what you would like, right? You have public training sessions and this and that and everything, or you have something where you can have 15 minutes, watch it, and then you have to leave. But the point at the end of the day is that these are things which are in the system, and yeah, those are realities, right? Again, some of the stuff you would like to have, but again, oh, sorry, just realized. Fine was busy, bored from the asset dilemma, waiting for that like others. Blue, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But whatever is coming now, it will be a problem. It will be a problem. No audio. Still. Can you hear me? Can someone tell me if you can hear me and see me? I can at least see myself. I was seeing myself all the time. Now, I'm not against. Okay, it's fine. Thanks. I'm not against Gurpreet Singh Sandhu is wrong, but any European clubs are ready to take up players by seeing their quality of football, leave alone in the top 5 leagues in Europe. Kumar, again, you are not getting the point that Goopy is getting across. Forget why you're talking about top 5 leagues. With top 5 leagues, forget. Why you're talking, we know that. So for me, it's yeah. The point is that most of you did not get what Gurpreet tried. Gurpreet was being honest. Listen, please. Again, Bengali, do the translation. Listen to what Pritham Kotal says in my interview. Just listen to it. Because Pritham honestly says something as a long-time national team player. He will say something. And some of the stuff, I know a lot of people will not like that, what he said. Last time we were discussing Indian players as strikers and other critical position. Now that we need to build from zero, this is another trade-off. Yeah, yeah. We need to build the whole thing. This glory hunting started from childhood, sir. My parents will expect you to be perfect in studies and always be compared with others. Even you get good marks, you will still be criticized. Yeah, that's a problem. Signing Messi will get more attention in Indians than any Indian player, especially in popular sports like football. Yeah, I mean the whole Messi thing, right? Why is pool of players not improving? Pranjal, because they are not doing the right things in grassroots and youth football. Last year, we've seen it. If someone gets better, yeah. Okay, no way. In Hindi, it's Sharma ji ka beta syndrome. Sharma ji ka बेटे ने ये क्या हो है तू क्यों नहीं कर पाया? Yeah, that's yeah, I've heard that. Just sarcasm. We should beg, plead Indian American Shilan Patel, owner of the West Brom, to take few weeks trials for baby youth kids. We need to break through in one way or another. We are languishing way behind. You know what this Indians in America thingy, and they should do this and they should do for I know you meant it sarcastically. Um hasn't happened, right? So that's another reality of our things, that we are hoping against hope that something or the other would happen. Uh, you know, that's not going to work, right? Sir, bring European coach and give him full freedom without any politics from grassroots football. Put Saying, yeah, nice idea. But how many European coaches are you going to bring? Who's going to create the structure? Listen, you need 4 or 5 things to come together for something to work. First, you need grassroots in itself. You need youth football. You need the coaches, but you need competitions, and then you need the scouting. You know. So the point is that we need to sort out all of those things and then build a foundation. Let's say you're building a house. We want to build a 10-story building, and we're thinking about the penthouse on top of that. You know. Uh, so to me, that is the question. You've not built a foundation, but you're thinking about the penthouse on top. That should be nice, and then the whole thing will collapse. That's what's happened with the ISL. You've not built the foundations, be it football or be it financial. That is the walking away of City Football Group is a slap on the face. You know. So that's the thing. Which age group is considered grassroots, by the way? 6 to 12. We have dug ourselves so deep into the abyss that we are officially so close to the Earth's mantle that the Earth's surface. Um, I take a different example. We've not worked out into Earth. I always say we are an open space and we've gone into a black hole and we're going deeper, 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 deeper into that black hole. Right. So that's the thing. By the way, saw your video. So if AFF run a very bad league, that will harm the league in long term. Am I right? Yes, Blue. This is what I've said to certain people at the clubs. You need to consider, if you play whatever the AFF is putting on the team and you're willing to spend the money, you know, that what is being proposed at the moment, is going to hurt us in the long run more than if something proper is sorted out in the next 6 months. So that is my problem. A bad league, you know. Um, let's see. Sir, a suggestion: make thumbnails a little better so they reach masses. We see you interviewed Shan, and he said the same things now. Breaking news. Don't know. He said same back 2 years ago. Raj, I know what you mean. Again, I'm trying to do with my little resources. I am not Rev Sports or whatever the other channels are. I do whatever I can with my limited ways. I am not a graphic designer. I'm using a program, trying to do my best. Sorry, I'm not the best. And I do this in my spare time. Sorry. So I am not a professional, Raj. I'm trying to do the little that I can. My expertise is talking about these things and trying to get as much of information as across. Um, but and 2 years ago, my channel had a reach, I don't know, a few hundred or something of the sort. So the reach has already grown. But I know this is the interesting part. Be it here on YouTube, on even more on my Instagram and Twitter, that the right people in Indian football follow it, in the sense of the people who decide. So I say you know, um, as I'm also with a few things involved in the back end of the processes, you know, and but that doesn't have value because again, you have to have thousands, millions of followers. Again, that's why I need always your help once more to grow the platform. Um, Again, I do this in my spare time. 31 likes today. Thanks a lot. Um, and yes, and help me grow the channel slowly, slowly. 3,663 at the moment. Um, Again, help as much as you can. Indian education system pretty much discourages sports as a who in fact sports as a profession itself is a privilege. 90% case parents will say no at the very beginning. Yeah, so that's another problem. There is no sporting culture. Sorry, there's a again sorry connectivity issue with Canva. No matter how much we want someone to help India for the love for Indian football, but without the economics working, will most likely end up in vain. ROI matters. Um, RGV Netin. Yeah, I can tell you that whatever I've done over the last nearly 28 years, what I've ever done in different ways, India will never be able to repay me because of the hours of work which are not counted in. We used to run Indian football and those stuff, the things we've done, right? I've done stuff at my own cost. I'm not a rich man. I'm not a billionaire, millionaire, whatever. I have to work and earn my living. But for me, Indian football is love and passion. And I will do it until the end, as old as I become. And if this is a way of interacting with you people, getting more people interested in Indian football, then that is it. That is what we used to do at IndianFootball.com. I was talking to someone the other day. I said, listen, we laugh. Um, that's the point. Is this at all curable? I've lost the plot. Yeah, it is curable, but with the right leadership. Your assessment on the level of understanding of fans of this matter, myself included, your take. Simon, forget the fans. I think most of the people don't understand the complexity of the problem and that you need to, again, need to take hard decisions. In India, you live in, I've seen people argue, discuss things in theory without understanding what is reality and what is the impact of things and how actually it works. And people don't want to accept truths. People don't want to introspect. There is no level of accountability. We've heard today from multiple fans and genuine fans, right? That we want performance from the team, then we will support. And that is especially done by a lot of fans who support Argentina, Brazil, and whatever. No, you need to be there, especially when the team loses. And that is what we don't have, right? Can you explain why AIFF isn't willing to give the ownership of the league to the club's other corporate entities now they can amend the constitution? They don't want to amend the constitution. They're still running to the Supreme Court. No, do. Why? Ask the AIFF. Only few people know what CFG brought to Mumbai City FC: professionalism, sponsors, trust. Yeah, and growth and quality. Vegan, ISF fans and my entire mental peace is ruined with this untimely noise as due to this corrupt and arrogant case. We are passionate. Yeah, but again, Gina, no, you also, all of us have played our part in some sort of way. Keep going, sir. Thanks, Simon. Sir, I really appreciate and admire your consistency towards the weapon of Indian football. Football say, I'm trying to do my bit. And I will say what is right, what is wrong. A lot of people are saying what they think people also want to hear. When I said in 2023, someone told me today, said, sir, you said Saf in front of people to then Secretary Shaji, this is the time to do things. They didn't do it, right? In here, you sell delusion, you will give publicity like Bajaj. Yeah, but Ranjit was there. In Bangalore, was there. I remember we hugged each other, right? So that's the reality. Emotions are okay. What we need money, guys. Being sentimental Time wouldn't help us. Yeah, Raj, very, again, emotions are needed. Football, sports is an emotion. It's about passion. But professional sports needs money. Cuanta costa, as they say in Spanish. You need the money, without we cannot grow. And now, because in the last 15 years, the AIFF didn't have to do anything. They got their 50 crores from Reliance. They were fine. The clubs didn't have to do anything. Reliance was organizing via first IMG Reliance and then FSDL, the Indian Super League. Didn't have to bother. The I League clubs didn't have to bother. It was not greatly organized, but the AIFF used to organize the I League. All of these people are coming into a reality. The players used to get their money without a problem. They're also waking up. We'll have to live in Dilulu. Yeah. Dilulu, La La Land is where people are very happy to live. So out of curiosity, what else are you working on apart from football? Truly appreciate spending a couple of hours almost daily answering all comments. Hope the channel grows rapidly. Thanks a lot, Anish. Again, football is my main work in regard to consultancy on governance matters, which is actually working certain things. And I was also doing some stuff on handball. So yeah, do multiple sports now. And again, this year, most probably I'll be shifting my focus. My focus is not focus, but my love project has always been India. But India for me has been more of spending money rather than getting money. So that's a problem which is there. Why you support Real Madrid? Answer has 15 UEFA Champions League titles. Yeah, Rajan, that answers you. Why was Manchester United so because Manchester United was winning things, right? So what is cut money? Kale, I answered a little earlier. Cut money is when your players' salaries and officials or coaches from clubs take money from the players. Also, support of Indian sports. Can you say how, as an individual, I can contribute whatever little time I have apart from my work? Anish, very difficult because I don't know you. I don't know what you can do and contribute. I get these kind of questions again and again from people, and if I don't know you, what you can contribute, again, raise your voice, speak about things, and that's the problem. Also, if you break that dilu, you will be labeled. The the problem that I see is I agree with you, and that's the problem. I will say that's what I always say when we talk about players of origin, when we talk about people of origin. I do not need to prove that I have made myself, someone who is Indian, right? But I also say I'm German. I'm a proud Hindu. We celebrate Durga Puja. I head the biggest Durga Puja in Europe as the president. So nobody needs to tell me what I need to be, don't need to be, right? So the thing is, what you are, what you're not, is not the question. Are you doing the right thing or not? And here, a lot of people are not doing the right thing. If only we had open-ended discussion like this in the actual house in Delhi. Simon, I've had these conversations in the past at Football House with people. With the Kushal Das, you could have a conversation. With the Shondadhor, I've had a lot of conversations, a lot of things I've raised. And, you know, and yeah, let's see. AFF doesn't have a broadcasting partner. They don't know where they generate 70 crore and broadcast money themselves is they can't find a commercial partner not to figure it only has 19 crore. Yeah, G9I 19 crores, but not 19 crores to spend, right? On the ISL problem now is if you're going to spend money on the ISL, the I League clubs will also start cribbing. So that's the point. Do you plan to open an actual football academy in the near future? Zoravar, I would love to. Actually, I wanted to open an academy here to enable kids from India to do something, but the cost of that is so high that I will never be able to do that. Right? If someone has a few millions on the side, if you're listening, you want to help me, yeah. If someone wants to invest, again, technical expertise, practical expertise, I can do that. But for me, to let's say have an Arunava Chaudhuri Academy somewhere or whatever you want to call it, is not possible. I do not have that. Again, I've spent so many crores on Indian football over the last 27, 8 years that I don't have that money ready to say, listen, I can open. I would love to do that. Another, does this season's league is needed? I do not think this season should be abandoned to think about the future of the league or wait until new election in September. Kumar, I agree with you on that. I think I've said this again. Those of you who've not watched it, do watch it. The video that I made earlier today, um, where I said, "Will the ISL happen or not?" And that's my take on it. Um, my point is um, simple: that what Blue asked a little earlier as well. Holding the league holding the league hurt us more than it will help. And if you ask me at this moment, looking at things, then I would tell you it will most probably hurt us more than it will help. So therefore, for me, I think you should wait for a new body to come in, but that new body cannot come in September, because if you're waiting till September, your league needs to start in September. So your processes need to change. If I want to run the constitution only to eat away commercial partner money, Kalyan playing cricket was out. I don't know if he's wanting to eat commercial partners' money, because there is not much money to play around with, because all the money that was coming in, they were spending on things. See, this whole corruption thingy, if you have money to siphon off, great, but there is no money to siphon off. I can say from last 3 years, I've been following you on YouTube. After seeing commitment by you, I'm trying to do something. Thanks, Raj. Great. Great. Again, and again, if there is someone who has a little bit of money to spend and wants to build something, even if you want to build something small, um, yeah, I'm there. I can help. What happened to FC Madras? Raj, they're there. I mean, I've heard a lot of things. I've never been there. I've never seen it, but they're there. The problem in India is that the mess is so normalized that no one cares currently. If you see there is people will not clean, they will not find on somewhere else something past and do a water water. Yeah, Blue, that's you've understood it, right? The problem is that if people say something which is right, and I say, for example, what Gurpreet Singh Sandhu said in that interview, he was right, you know, and but again, people will still criticize him. Thanks for your efforts, love for our Indian football team. Hope wishing government Bollywood celebrities rich BCCI cricket reserve perform for. Narendra, I hope so, but I have my doubts. About opening football academies, how much does it take to open an academy and how much does it take to run it per year? Pranjal, it depends on what you want to create. If you want to create an academy for the sake of creating an academy, what? You can maybe spend as little as 10 lakhs and start it off and run it most probably at 4 5 lakhs, right? To start off with something. But if you want to do it properly, 20 30 crores, yeah. Look at the Messi situation. No one talks about that now. The government didn't take responsibility. They rather chose to go to UP, Africa, 2008, etc. Yeah, Blue. It is a mess. It is a mess. It was a mess. It is a mess. And the Messi situation again. Sorry, Messi in an Indian context mean, oh, you know what happened in Kolkata? You forget, the memes of the chief minister in Hyderabad. Terrible. The memes of the chief minister's wife from Mumbai. And then, of course, the height of it all, Jay Shah launching a cricket World Cup ticket via Messi, right? Only God can save Indian football. Okay, no, even God cannot save it, Narendra. After everything that has gone through in the last few weeks, from weak management to zero funds, they still gonna announce ISL date with a commercial partner broadcast. Zero shame. Okay, yeah, KC regime. Yeah, that's what the plan is tomorrow. Dirty politics ruined our Indian sports. Narendra, it's one of the things. It is dirty politics. It is lack of understanding of knowledge and this and that and everything, which is where we are. Financials need to be spent to play this season are ridiculous for clubs for a few matches. Clubs should say no to AIFF plan. Plain and simple. Yeah, come on. Not related, but years ago I saw a Kaiserslautern match, and ever since I still reminiscence about it. Recently, I got to know they're part of multi-club ownership, eight clubs, other clubs. Does it affect 50+1 rule? Sunny, Kaiserslautern is a speciality. If you've gone to the Betzenberg, a very special stadium, no, and the 50+1 rule again. The multi-club owner has less than 50+1, right? So that's how it is. If I have to do a league for the sake of doing it, because after that video had reached into politics, politicians AF might have got some kind of pressure from government. Yeah, it was there earlier also, but that video has had its impact. So Morocco, Uzbekistan, Jordan are the biggest thing about how to choose and run things on national level. Foot sanely, yes and no. I mean, Uzbekistan has always been a good team since independence, right? They have been the biggest underachievers of Asian football. Morocco did a lot of things right within Morocco, but also on the other side did a lot of things right with their players of origin. And Jordan has also done a lot of things right in internally country, and the players went abroad. Hey, Ochud, welcome back. I've been busy in the weekend. Still feel we haven't moved ahead with this season's ISL. It's more important to have a proper long-term contract. Listen, you know and I know that is the case, but at the moment it is right about kuch na kuch ho jao. No, that is where we are. So I was busy in so in the is ISL date. If X9P things go as per plan, then tomorrow something or the other will be announced by the FF. Right. So that's the thing. So how much do you think German third division league is equal to ISL? Third division in Germany is higher than ISL from a standard wise, way higher than the ISL. What's the press conference AF in Bangalore again? Mr. Satya expressed a shameful feeling proud. Lionel Andres Messi always finds a way in Indian football in some way or the other. It's written not only in the stars but also in the constitution. Yeah, Simon, which video you guys are talking about exactly? Which video? Generally, Blue. If you're talking about the Messi thing, then it was generally in that way. It's like early 90s Indian football scenario. Yes, Uchit. We are heading to the early 90s. You know that time. I know that time. Yeah, we're heading to that. All cricket people in my relations justified Jay Shah with Messi because the next World Cup was happening in the US. That's the reason he was promoted. Yeah, but in the US, nobody cares about the cricket, right? You can use Messi. It's like with the football. The football draw was done by the American sporting stars. Yeah, FIFA World Cup makes no sense, right? So Jay Shah actually stole an idea from Infantino. Very interesting. Anavada, how are you doing? I'm good. Belated Happy New Year. Anything new content wise planned this year? Anupam, thanks a lot. Happy New Year to you or all the others who are joining for the first time today in the new year, or even if you're listening afterwards. Yes, I am launching tomorrow an interview with Pritham Kotal. So I'm trying to do a few interviews in the next few days. Let's see what the people say in Bengali because Pritham and I felt it was will be more impactful and again use the YouTube translate option to listen to it in English, Hindi, or whatever language suits you. So that's one of the things I'm trying to do a few interviews. And if whatever happens with Indian football, I'll be doing more international football this year. So that's another thing. Why not? Our Indian football team players go to foreign international league, Africa, Asia, Africa, Arab, or South America. If no Indian Super League football this season can try, something is better. Narendra, we've talked about this at a very, very long time earlier on. No one wants our Indian players. It's not about the players not wanting. Some of the players want to go abroad, but no one is taking it. German 50 equal to ISL. X9P, I would think that most of the 50 is better than the ISL. So do you agree that players want to just run league without fixing things for the long run, maybe 20 years? No. A junior Indian football is better than no, they're not, Narendra. That's another myth. Rubbish. Next World Cup happening in India and the T20 World Cup. I don't even know what I thought they were happening. No, the AIFF getting pressured. Is the video of the players that pressured them or any, no? Yeah, it's the pressure. It's the players video. Yeah, the players video seems to have had some impact because you had suddenly Arvind Kejriwal, Shashi Tharoor, those kind of level guys tweeting one. Why not Indian football team learn from women cricket team the recent Wonder Woman? Narendra, what will they learn? But you're talking about a five nation torn competition. What can they learn from them? What are you comparing? Another can AFF relegate the sorry. Another can AFF relegate the ISL clubs? Can ISL clubs go to Kumar? It's a good question. I don't know what is written in the. The problem is that with the switch of the ISL from Reliance ownership to the AFF, is there something written in there which would make this um, decision, so to say, clear? I don't know. So therefore, Could they? Theoretically, yes. Practically, does it make sense? No, it's utterly rubbish. We're heading towards Kolkata Maidan. I think even worse than that. FC Remscheid, sorry, might as well got the spelling. Spelling is right. Would fare better than most as I League clubs. Simon, I think they would be better than all I League clubs. Yeah, with all the problems that FC Remscheid have, we are currently in the relegation zone. So I will start watching Premier League. You should try some more covering international matches. Yeah, X9P, that is something which thinking about doing. Cricket is 5 team, football is 200 team difference. Yeah, it makes no sense to make those comparisons and men's and women's and this and that. It just does not make sense, guys. So therefore, yeah, with that, slowly coming to an end for today's live. As I said, once again, like, share, and subscribe. 36 likes. Thank you very much. If you're new, you're listening, you're liking, and so therefore, 3,663 is where we stand today. Watch my short video, and yeah, therefore support it. And again, Pritam Kotal tomorrow coming as an interview. Looking forward to that. And therefore, that's going to be the thing. Some last thing. What if AIFF decides to play all the matches Shillong Blue? We don't have enough hotels, and you need 2 grounds, X number of training facilities. And you know, you know. So don't dare compare Indian football to German football. Voldemade would turn into Voldemort hearing this. Yeah, so, again, that's the reality. So what's next? Will Indian football improve with ISL? What should AFF ideally do? The AFF should ideally sort itself out, the house in order, and then with the ISL, yeah, I don't know. So women's national should be face of Indian football this year. There is a fair chance to qualify the World Cup. Futsanely, at the moment, there is no chance of qualifying for the World Cup, right? Yeah, there is no chance. Looking at the preparations is disaster. Same guys asking on Twitter why I-League not starting. ISL have problems, not I-League. Yeah, that's right. Good night. Do you think Napang League is the first knock term? I don't know, Kumar. I hope, but I don't know. Right. With that, I'll end it tonight. And Anupam says, I plan on watching some good football this year. Which league would you recommend? Watch Premier League, watch Bundesliga, watch La Liga, but be decisive. Choose your matches. Champions League, the World Cup is coming up, so it's a lot of good matches. Watch now, African Cup of Nations, AFCON. The latter stages are happening. With that, coming to an end, I'll be back. Catch you soon. Good night, everyone.